They laughed at you when you had nothing, thinking your silence was weakness, not knowing it was control, discipline, the kind of silence that only hides storms. They looked at you like a joke, never realizing you were becoming something dangerous in the dark, quietly sharpening the edges of your soul. You didn't argue, you didn't explain, you let them talk, let them point, let them laugh, because you knew words were cheap and yours were too valuable to waste on people committed to misunderstanding you. While they danced in the spotlight, you embraced the shadows, not because you were lost, but because that's where real things grow. You didn't get lucky, you didn't get help, you got up over and over again. You showed up to the fight no one else saw. You trained your mind to stay strong when your heart wanted to collapse. You stitched your wounds in silence while the world walked past, unaware that every scar was a sentence in the story you were building. They thought you were finished. They didn't see that you were just beginning. You walked alone, not because you had no one, but because you didn't need anyone who didn't believe in you. You chose silence over screaming, growth over gossip, and work over whining. You became obsessed with one thing, fixing your life while no one believed you could. They laughed louder when you failed, and you stayed quieter when you rebuilt. You were dying inside some days, but even on your worst nights you never broke. You bent, you staggered, but you always came back, stronger, colder, clearer, and now they act surprised. They act like they didn't throw stones at your dreams, like they didn't doubt your every step. But you remember who disappeared, who mocked, who hoped you'd stay broken, and you didn't forget, not because you're bitter, but because pain is the sharpest memory. You fixed your life with blood in your mouth and fire in your lungs, dragging yourself out of your own grave with no applause, no audience, just grit and silence. That's what makes you terrifying now. You didn't just grow, you evolved. You became something built from pressure and forged through isolation. You stopped begging for support. You stopped waiting to be saved. You became your own damn rescue mission. And in doing so, you made yourself untouchable. Now, they watch in silence. They don't laugh anymore. They scroll past in discomfort. They avoid your name because it reminds them of their doubt, of how wrong they were. And what haunts them most is not your success. It's that you never needed revenge. You never needed to shout. You just worked, vanished, and returned a storm. You are no longer who you were. They can't hurt you anymore because the worst already happened and you survived it. You didn't come back for applause. You came back because you refused to stay beneath the dirt they buried you in. Now, your silence is power, your growth is proof, your presence is payback. And if they're uncomfortable with who you've become, good. Let them choke on every word they spoke against you. Because while they laughed, you worked, you healed, you fixed everything. If you've rebuilt yourself in silence and turned pain into power, comment yes below and subscribe, because this is just the beginning.